and my flight is not until 5. And it's gonna be kind of boring because there's such a small airport, there's nothing to do. I mean, they got these little cases around that have like artifacts in them. Mm, it's kind of boring. So, you guys are gonna be hopefully keeping me a little busy. I'm hoping. Oh, right. I have pins on. This one is an American Line flight crew. I don't know. It's so bright. There we go. So that's my American Airline flight crew pin. I got that from being in the cockpit of one of the airplanes. That video will be going up soon. And I also have this other pin that's like almost impossible to get off. There we go. Okay, gotta make sure I don't lose this piece. So there. This is my outward bound North Carolina pin. I don't know how to possibly let you see this. No, it's not gonna let me. I don't know where that piece went. Oh, there's the piece. It's like right there. So I got this one from being in the cockpit of an airplane. It was pretty cool. It was the airplane that I had from the one I went from Wilkes-Barre to Philly. I had that flight, and I asked to meet my captain and just take a picture, and they let me get in the cockpit, and it was pretty cool. So I ended up going in there and actually using the what they call those. I forget what they called it. I'm gonna call it the steering wheel. It's not really a wheel. That's okay. So trying to think. There's not that many people here either. There's maybe 20 people in here. And I already ate from this place called the Oasis. It's like right there. Yeah, there's nothing really to do here, so I figured I'd just talk or draw because I brought my my notebook. That's the word I'm looking for, but I don't know where it is. It's probably at the bottom of this bag I have. Oh, I also learned that I have 15 packs of ramen in this bag. Wasn't aware how many ramen I had, but I got a notebook. Not sure about a pen. Don't think I have a pen. Probably find a pen. I'm not even gonna look. I'm waiting for Joey to come back from a phone call. So, nothing to do. Of course. Okay, so we'll start from the beginning. Okay, so I landed, and right behind me, I met Byron and the 11 other kids I was going to be on this trip with. And then, as I was saying, we met Byron there and the other kids, and then we had to get changed into clothes that we were okay getting wet in, which is we all prepared to just get everything wet because it was sea kayaking. So we're gonna be on the water the majority of the time. So I went to the bathroom, got changed, and then we rode for about 45 minutes to an hour to this part of the beach, and they told us that we were gonna flip ourselves upside down in the kayak. none of us were too thrilled about that, but it really wasn't that bad. We had to roll ourselves over, and then, like, there's this thing called a spray skirt. You could look it up. You have to, like, pull the loop, and you just fall out of the kayak, and then you just swim up. So that was that. And after we all finished, we were playing Ninja. That's the game where you're in a circle and you have one move to make, and you have to, like, attack the other people. And I really don't know where Joey went, but that's okay. So after we played some Ninja, we went to we went to base camp right afterwards. And base camp was, like, just the place that we stayed the night. And we got to meet our instructors, Matt, Davis, and Nate. All pretty cool. Davis was a great storyteller. I might be able to tell some of his stories. Maybe. It was pretty cool. So we met them, and we got all our gear. We unpacked our bags, and then we got our phones taken away, and then trying to think. So after we got all that done, we assigned jobs. We started to cook food, and there's nothing else really to say about that day. Once dinner was ready, we did the chow circle where we just went over announcements for the day. That's about it. When we went to bed, we were in tents with 3 people. There were 3 4-people tents and 1 3-person tent. The 3-person tent was always the battle. First 4 days, the boys were in it, and then the last 3 days, the girls were in it, because the boys were like, it's too hot, and you're too close to each other, and there's no room, and it was completely fine. I was in it 2 days out of the 3 days. It really wasn't that bad, and all the girls were in it, all 6 of us. It was 6 girls and 6 boys. It was okay. It really wasn't that bad. And then we woke up, and then we went kayaking for the first day. And then there was a rage tide. And for those of you who don't know, that's when the current is changing and all the water is pouring into one area, and it's causing such a strong current that you really can't paddle through it. So we got about halfway there, and then we turned around and rode that rage tide right back to where we started. And then we tried again the next day, and instead of just going 4 miles, we went 8 miles, because we as a group decided, hey, we want to go to the Cape Lookout, which is a what's it called? Oh, lighthouse. So we decided that we were gonna go to the lighthouse. I also have bug bites all over. Like, this is all bug bites that I scratched. Don't scratch bug bites. They leave scars, and they're not fun. I have them all over because there were so many bugs, and insect repellent wasn't enough. So we actually ended up completing all 8 miles. We were all dead tired, but in order to complete the 8-mile thing, we had to walk about half a mile down the beach, dragging our boats behind us in the water, of course, because you can't drag the kayak itself because they're too heavy. So after we finished dragging the kayak, we made it to the beach. We had to unpack the kayaks, carry all of it to the camp area, and then we had to walk all the way back, carry the kayaks, put them up on top of a hill so that the tide didn't take them away. And then we all just went and we relaxed and we cooked our food, and that was that day. The next day we didn't have to kayak because there was a layover day. The third day, actually that night, the second night that we were at Cape Lookout, which is the lighthouse, we actually saw like one of the biggest shooting stars I've ever seen in my entire life. It was like a really clear one, almost like those meteor showers. How clear those ones are. This shooting star was that clear. It was pretty cool. Then the next day, we had a kayak to a place called Codd's Creek. I had to be the navigator for that, and I knew where I was going, but then we decided that we were going to go through the marshlands, which is mud and like grass and smelly from oysters and fish that are dying. And we didn't know that we weren't going to be able to go down that way because the tide wasn't high enough and it hadn't rained enough. So we ended up having to get out and walk in the mud. And the mud, you basically just sank in. It was up to my knees, and then a kid lost his shoe, and I was the only one that was willing to go ahead and dig in the mud to find it. So I was up to here in mud. It was fun, but we created some bonding time out of that. 5 of the kids, including myself, and one of the instructors, Nate. So that makes 6 people. 6 out of the 15 total in group went into the mud, and the others turned around and went around the mud because apparently we were already too far ahead. Yay me! So instead, we finished going through the mud, we pulled our kayaks up and out of the water, and then had to drag the really heavy kayaks across one of the islands in order to get back in the water. Best day ever. After that, we just finished paddling to Codd's Creek, and we unpacked like we did every day. We unpacked, we put it to the campsite. We tied up our boats this time because they still had to remain on the water, and it was pretty fun. I would definitely recommend an outward bound course to anybody. They're actually a lot of fun. You meet some really cool people that you can probably make a really good connection with because you're with each other for 8 days. You only have contact with each other. You don't have a phone. And you really just have a really good bonding time. Joey's coming. I'm streaming on YouTube right now. I got really bored. Want to say hi?
I'm not the most, so. I'm under pressure now. That's how it goes.
You don't have to say hi.
Say hi from this end. Hey!
I already told them that you were coming because I saw you over there.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just basically explaining my outward bound thing. And nobody's really like watching it yet, and then like I get views afterwards. Because like I don't even watch live streams from people. I watch it after they're done live streaming.
Yeah.
Because then they don't have time to edit it or anything. I have like a contest going on right now.
Almost at 100.
Yeah, that's the thing. I have a contest going on right now, and once I reach 100, I don't know, I have fun with this. Like right before the night before, I couldn't sleep, so I just made a bunch of videos, and I had nothing to do. So I did live streams, and then I put them for scheduled later, so that while I was out, there were still videos being uploaded.
Huh.
Like I couldn't sleep, so I just did drawing with like my nickname on here is Kit Kat. So drawing with Kit Kat, because I can't draw very well. I can draw in a notebook, sketching, but I did the whole dry erase challenge thing. I couldn't. My friend Alana was telling me to draw Peter Pan at one point in the night. I can't draw Peter Pan. So I attempted. And then before that, I did an outward bound checklist packing with Kit Kat, and that was fun. I just have fun with these things because like it gives me something to do.
Mm-hmm. And like interact with other people and what?
Mm-hmm.
I get something.
My BLT was good.
I might go straight like usual.
I think I forget where I left off. I think I left off at Codd's Creek.
and leave a live shop. Is that what that?
Right before you walked in, that's what I was like talking about.
Yeah.
I really would though, because like it was a lot of fun.
You learn a lot about yourself.
And you make friends. Like, yeah, there's Texas, Maine, I think Ian lives in Maryland, DC, that's where Margaret lives. I want to say Dava lives. I'm not even gonna try because if they watch this later, I'm not even. Sorry, Dava. I forget. But I know that Zach lives in Texas because they kept calling him Dallas.
I was curious who Dallas was.
Puppy! There's a puppy, and I'm getting that on video. Can I zoom in? Look at the puppy! I love puppy. Puppies are adorable. It keeps popping up. We have our group chat NOTK823 because that's our thing. That was our outward bound course number.
Yeah.
So that's the course thing, and it keeps popping up. My Snapchat just keeps coming down.
That's cool. I never knew Snapchat could do that. I guess
Yeah, we have groups.
not on it enough.
Probably not. Too much to do.
Well, that's
Oh, I ended up getting this first aid kit because it had these things in it, and it's like cold and it felt really good and it's not really itchy anymore. Like it's not as itchy. I already did this thing. This thing is gross. That was Joey. So Cotts Creek. How do I explain? Well, that was the first major storm that we had, and it wasn't fun. It was so loud and so bright. Like, the lightning was as bright as a high beam on a car. Like, one of those LED, really bright ones. Like, imagine that, like, right up against the tent. And then just them flashing it. Just a flash. No. The thunder was, like, right over us, and that was kind of scary because it was, like, really loud. Louder than my eardrum, like my earbuds that I put in my ears. If I turn it all the way up, it's louder than that. There were some pretty bad storms. And then I want to say the next bad storm was at Great Island Bay, but we'll get there. Oh, when we were at the lighthouse area, we had the rinse off things for like a shower because we didn't get to shower other than like the rinse off station there and at Great Island Bay, which was okay because we had the ocean and everything. Let me think. Oh, we also had to play the game of our instructors got captured by Blackbeard because Blackbeard actually had an island here in Newbern. One of the islands off the Outer Banks was actually his island. Like, where he put all his treasure and stuff. So, Blackbeard was a key part of the trip. So, they got captured by Blackbeard, and we had to do it all on our own, which was pretty cool. We had to do our own float plan and other things. We do our own float plan. We had to assign our own jobs. We had to do everything independently, no instructors. They were following us behind us, but it wasn't the same because they weren't there and they weren't talking. So, let me think. We had to get to Great Island Bay before sunset, and if we got there at 2:30 or before, we could spend our hardcore points, which we earned by doing certain things. And you can, like, one thing was called Cold Cow, which was, you had to guess what they were. Like, if you said you wanted Cold Cow, they would tell you what it was after you bought it, but you had to, like, think before you bought it, because, like, say you didn't want ice cream, you would buy Cold Cow, and then you get ice cream, and then what if you didn't want that? Well, you already bought it with your hardcore points. So they give them crazy names. One thing that we didn't get was Unicorn Magic, and they said it's just gonna happen. we still don't know what it was, and the course is over. So, some people think they're gonna mail us glitter. Yeah, and Davis was supposed to give us stickers. We didn't get those, but that's okay. We had a lot of fun. We got our pins. They also gave us a diploma, which I'm pretty sure I could just pull out of my bag. Yep, diploma. So it's signed by, I want to say, there's Byron down there. He's the guy that picked us up. And this is Matt, Nate, and Davis up here. And, oh no. Matt, Davis, and Nate. They all got to sign it. So, like, when you go, there's 4 pillars that were bound, and it's pretty cool. You're supposed to follow those: craftsmanship, compassion, physical fitness, and there's one more that I can never remember. I think. So there's craftsmanship, compassion. The other one is physical fitness, and there's one more that I just cannot remember. And this is turned, and I don't like it. I have OCD. I don't know if you guys have heard the Rhett and Link OCD song, but that was funny. Joey's on her way back. She's got her food. So, let's see what time it is. Okay, it's 2:19. My flight doesn't leave until 5:44. Yay. I have 3 more hours. I won't be live streaming for that long, but I will be live streaming for the next maybe 20 to 30 minutes. So, I don't know what to do. There's a storm rolling in. Great, I might be delayed. I can't wait to go home though. I miss a lot of people back home. But let's finish the story. Getting to Cods Creek was fun because, like I said, mud. Ew. Are you still not used to it? What did you get? BLT?
Oh, yeah.
Wheat bread? Wait, did you ever eat anything gluten-free?
Yeah, the pasta was
Really? It didn't taste, like, different. It doesn't taste different. I don't understand, like, why people think it's gross.
It's good. There's a lot of good gluten-free stuff.
Our instructor, Nate, was gluten-free, so he had his own special bag off to the side. Nope, that's not my flight. We're good. So, like, how long before my flight will I say it's delayed?
It all depends. Not sure exactly.
I don't want to, like, be in there already and then they say it's delayed.
Yeah. Oh, they might tell you before that.
I need to fix this. This is uncomfortable. I'm sitting on my wallets. My wallets. I have 2. One's change and the other one's money. It was all together in that one. And then I decided that I needed to bring an extra one so that I didn't spend the money. I needed to check my bag back into the airport. I don't want thunder. Go away.
Was that thunder?
I'm hoping it's not. No, because there was already thunder.
Yeah.
I don't want thunder. I want it to stay completely good so that I can go home on time.
Yeah.
Because apparently the boy exchange student is coming April 18th. A whole couple of days before the exchange student from last year comes in. So, like, we have exchange students. The first one's name was I, like EYE. That was her nickname. And she was from Thailand. And then I've already told this story before. So, She was from Thailand, and then we did it again the next year, and that was just this past year. And we had a girl from Vietnam. Her name was Yuki, and we had a boy from Brazil. His name was Gustavo. And well, Yuki's
Did you
name
ever go and see them?
I would, but I need my passport. Um, Yuki's name is actually sure this name. I'm going to like apologize, but like it's a Vietnamese name. I don't speak Vietnamese. It's like Nhien, like Nhien. That's her first name. I can't really say that, so she made her nickname Yuki. And then this year we're getting a boy from Cambodia. He's the one that's coming really early. He was like a last minute like thing where they said, do you guys have any more room? And we did. We wanted to get 2 more. So that's what ended up happening. We ended up getting 2 more exchange students, and the boy was like last minute add on clean the room. Like make sure it's all dusted off and
Is this with your grandparents?
we're living in the same house. They moved, and I didn't want them to get rid of the house because I'm like attached to that house. So I told my dad we had to move in. He didn't have an option. Well, he had the option to say no, but I would have been mad. But he still has the house that we were living in because now he just rents it. So it works out for us.
Making money, not doing much, you know?
There's also more room, like rooms as in like rooms for people to sleep in. So the guy from Cambodia, his name is he likes to be called Richard. I'm not even gonna attempt to say his first name because I haven't looked at it enough, so I don't know like the proper pronunciation. So I'm not even gonna try it. We have a girl from Italy, Isabella. That's her actual name. She's from Italy, so it's kind of like English. And then there's Yuki. Yuki's coming back. So we have 3 this year. I don't know. I want to do a gap year program like Justin.
It's exciting.
Justin's doing like one of those gap year programs. I didn't know what they were, and he's going to like New Zealand and like Belize, and yeah, that was thunder, clouds. They're not too dark. The clouds up in the window.
Like a reflection from me.
Yeah, the window up. So I'm not looking for. I don't want it to rain. I want to be able to go home on time. Because then that means you get to get out of here too.
Yeah.
It's so boring. This would be like, if I had to do this, it'd be like, right here is all red on both sides. I can see it. It's because I'm itching.
Some more of that stuff.
Go like
Help
this.
your arm.
Like this is better now. Like they're smaller too. I think it just spreads. It's not poison ivy because I refuse to go in the woods because I didn't want to get poison ivy because it's not fun. I've had poison ivy and poison oak.
Are you really allergic?
No, I think I am to poison oak though because it just wouldn't go away. Yeah, I ended up buying a first aid kit. Like a mini, this is what it is, a mini first aid kit. So that I can get these because these tend to work on me sometimes. So I was like, let's try it. It's something.
Better than itching.
That's all I have to do. Put it on, it stings for a few seconds, and it's done.
Probably especially if they're open. Scratch them too much.
You mean like this? This one was the worst. It was so itchy, I just couldn't. And when we were kayaking back to where you guys picked us up, I wanted to cry because it hurt so bad when the salt water got in it. It was just like, no. And then it was burnt. Like when it wasn't in the water, it was burning. So it was like burn or sting, burn or sting.
Salt water.
Salt water actually closed up. See this thing? It was much deeper. I ended up cutting a chunk out of my finger with the paddle. We all had a
Really good paddling.
yeah, we all had to like pot up, and we were all so close, and we had to hold on to each other's boats. And Deva,
Paddling.
we were all already together, and Deva's paddle was on the side where I was holding on, And then one of the larger waves, because the boat just went by, one of the larger waves made us all go like this, and we were all separated like an accordion, and then we just went all back together. And my finger was just in the wrong spot, at the wrong time, and a whole chunk of my finger just bye bye. Yeah. I would say it was like, let me fold this piece of paper up. It was maybe, I can't fold it up enough, but it was maybe that deep, maybe a little bit deeper, like a whole chunk of my skin just gone. And Matt never got to disinfecting it. He never got to it because they were all so busy, like just trying to get there.
Yeah.
And
Later on, did you?
nope, it's just been healing itself, and I kept it in salt water, which basically is a disinfectant in itself because it's salt.
Cleaning itself.
Every 5 minutes because it hurt a lot to paddle. So like I was paddling like this.
I'm curious if it did affect your paddling.
A little bit, and then I can bend it now. 2 days ago it was like this. Couldn't bend it.
It was just
It's so rough. It feels rough, and I don't know why. Like it's not like all my fingers feel rough, but like Matt went like this and said, "No, your fingers are good." So like I think it's just me. And all our hands were swollen. All our fingers. Like, see how you can kind of like see through like a little bit of light? We couldn't see any light through any of our fingers. So, like all our fingers down here were swollen after we were done paddling.
interesting. I'm curious of the reasoning behind that. Maybe it's because
Matt and Davis and Nate all said that it was probably just from using muscles that we're not used to using. My core is better now. I used to paddle with my arms, and I used to get tired after 20 minutes and then go back. Like, I go up the river and just float back. And then this time it was a whole 8 miles, and I'm like, oh my god, I can't do this. And they were like, use your core and rotate. I was like this the whole
Makes a
time.
huge difference.
It's almost no arm strength.
And
It's
you can
all.
last longer too.
Oh, definitely. We did a whole 6 hours of paddling, and I wasn't tired. I mean, my arms kind of hurt just because it's natural, because you're using them for so long and keeping them like this, and so I already knew that something was going to hurt after the first day. I already mentally prepared myself for that.
Probably would have been more sore if you just
Paddled like I normally would.
I made that mistake. I used my arms and not my core. And I was squeezing the paddle so tight too. I was told tendinitis. I could feel it in my elbow every time I grab the paddle. I just get like this pain.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
I was also I had to have Matt check my back because I had like all these little dots all over my back from like a rash, but it wasn't like an all together rash. It was like spread out, and wherever there was a dot, if I moved too much, it would hurt. He said it was just like a normal rash. Put Gold Bond on it. I was good.
It could be the reaction from the salt.
That's what everybody was saying. Like, it's probably just a reaction from the sand and the salt, not being able to like shower daily.
Get all that off. Yeah.
So he just told me put Gold Bond on it and you should be good, and I was good. Like, they know what they're talking about. Matt was basically the medic because he knew where everything was in the bags. Okay, did you hear us when we were talking about them, like how for our debriefing?
No.
When they brought up Matt, everybody was like movie star. Because he was wearing sunglasses and he has the like almost a perfect smile.
Yeah.
So it's like he looks like he should be not like a movie star if they would, but like just a wilderness show.
Oh,
He would flourish. We all think that because he was just like he's so knowledgeable. He knows a lot, so it's like he could easily do it if he wanted to. I don't think he would unless it was like an outward bound thing where he was with kids because he wants to be a teacher.
Yeah, he'd make a great teacher. He's very, he knows how to explain things to people, and he helps me.
He liked history. He said, I asked him what his favorite subject was, and he said history and reading and writing. So, he would probably.
Did you talk to him about playing the guitar?
I didn't know.
Oh, he's wicked at playing the guitar. Wicked.
I love playing
He can hear
guitar.
someone playing the chords and be able to play the same thing back. Like, it's not even human, is it?
Oh,
I'll be. Teaches me all about it.
NOTK823 keeps appearing. It's also on the front of the van. I don't know if you saw it.
From the van?
Yeah, on the windshield. I don't know if you saw it on the windshield.
I saw something written, but I didn't know what it was.
I thought that was the rain, and I'm like,
Look out the window there. What? It is raining. Rain shouldn't stop plane from taking off. It's just
no, it's the thunder and lightning. Basically, the plane goes into lightning drill.
yeah. Oh man. Yeah. Whatever's gonna happen will happen.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't be
We're here
like
till
the
11.
worst thing. It's literally just like
We're
waiting.
safe under a roof,
I don't have to sit on a really uncomfortable life vest. Oh, PFD, but whatever. I keep getting, they kept going, a what? A what? If I got PFD or map chart, whatever, wrong.
Mm-hmm.
It's a chart, not a map. And I would always say map because I don't
Start
live on the
reaching.
water.
Well, you're probably used to like
Maps,
on land, yeah. Charts are just
water.
yeah.
I learned how to read one though. So, that's a new skill.
Yeah, that's impressive.
Like that the things that are like this shape, like, but they would be elongated if they were white and they had an outline around them. It's a channel.
Mm-hmm.
Like I learned about that.
Mm-hmm. What else did you learn about
Davis was like really surprised. Like near the end, we started talking about the ferry. Like that was like the day that you guys picked us up. We were talking about the ferry. And he's like, "See the one in front of you? That one's made of metal. The one we saw yesterday was made of wood. Why do you think?" It took me 2 tries before I figured it out. Metal gets off the sandbars easier than the wood, and the wood can get damaged by sandbars if they're going too fast. And then he's like, "Okay, why is metal preferred?"
Davis is really knowledgeable with the local history.
Oh yeah, he was just talking about everything.
He knows his stuff.
Birds and the fish. He said that if the skin was on that fish that was there, he would have been able to know what it was. But because it's like such just like, it's just a fish. Fish look the same when they're like bones. Unless they're like the long noses, they're gonna have a long nose. That's the only way he would be able to tell the difference.
Yeah. He would definitely know. Did you see these turtles?
Other than at the aquarium.
Stingrays?
They saw, everybody else saw stingrays. I didn't see stingrays. I was too focused on like paddling. I would look down occasionally, but nothing was there.
Does it scare you?
What?
Like being in the water? Like not knowing what's under you?
Yes. If everybody else was there, I was good. But if I had to go by myself, I wanted to make sure that I was able to like be standing up and have my feet. When I felt, okay, we had to get out of our kayaks and take a break because we were in a rage tide again, like 3 days before we saw you guys. 3 days before that, when we were on our way to Cod's Creek, we hit another rage tide, so we just took a break for 30 minutes again and waited because it was close enough that if we waited a little bit, we'd be able to do it. So we ended up waiting, and we had to get out of a kayak. And I thought that I did a good parking job and that we were going to be perfect and that it was going to be nice and shallow, just like everybody else, except for a few people. And it wasn't. It was too deep for me. Like, the ground was only this much further away from me.
You would have just been all the way
Yeah.
there.
And I would have basically been up to here if I didn't have the life vest on. And that's fine in a pool that I can see through. But like when I can't see, I get nervous because I can't. No, because it's so muddy.
Yeah.
Like the sand was
Remember what
there,
you're stepping
the
on.
sand was over there, and it was like getting darker, darker mud. Like it was mud. It was like sand, and then like the mud was on the outside of the sand, like into the water, which is like weird, but it's nature.
Yeah.
So I stepped on the mud thinking that it was solid, and then I fell, and then I started freaking out because I can't see.
Yeah. That's courageous to take a course like this. Like knowing that
You're gonna be in the water. I can't
Yeah.
see. Yeah, no. I couldn't see. It wasn't
Not many
okay.
people do that.
It wasn't okay. Like when we're at the river, like Alana, when she sees this, she's gonna like laugh. But when we're at the river and she knows this, when we're at the river that I go kayaking in, I can't see the bottom, and it's nerve-wracking, and I don't like getting out of the kayak at all, unless I'm in the shallow end where it only goes up to maybe my knees.
Yeah, and you can see the bottom.
His RV in the land, he just like lets us go up and use it because his daughter can't, or his granddaughter, like they're not there enough, so we keep him company. But I couldn't see, and her grandma's friend had to literally almost carry me across because I couldn't, like it was dark, it was like completely muddy brown. And he was telling me about how when it floods, things float down. And I'm like, I don't want to cut my feet. But they gave me shoes after I said that. And I was like, but I still can't see. Like, it's not that deep when we did it. Or else he wouldn't let us do it. Like, he's really on us like that. Like, you're not allowed to go out without a life vest. And you're not allowed to go out swimming if there's a strong current. Like, he's on us.
That's good.
And so, I mean, that was okay with me because I'm like, I can't see to begin with. I want a life vest.
Yeah.
Because I can't see. What happens if I fall out? And I panic, and then I can't swim because I'm in panic mode. No, like, if I cannot see the bottom, I don't want to be there. Because I feel like something's like gonna take my legs, and because I watch all the wilderness things because they're cool, and then I see like there's alligators in rivers where they're not supposed to be, but they're there because they've adapted. So I'm like, okay, what if there's an alligator in this river? Like anything is possible. And then I watched that stupid shark movie where there was a shark in a river because it connected to the ocean and it was deep enough, so it would just go back and forth. And I was like, like it's not close enough to the river. Like we're not close enough to the ocean, but it's still like
Yeah, there's always possibilities.
there's dolphins. Okay, in Brazil they have this weird rainforest type thing, and there's river dolphins. Like they go back and forth from the ocean to that river. But some people say that they don't. Like they don't know where they go.
Yeah.
Because the river, that area, it's a forest, but in rain season it becomes a river.
In Brazil.
Mm-hmm. And it's just like, oh my god, there's dolphins in there.
That's good there.
It's just like there's dolphins and there's alligators and there's cheetahs and there's everything in there. But it's just like,
I would not expect dolphins.
nope. Like I saw a fin. And I'm like, oh my god, there's a shark in there? How is a shark getting there? And it was a dolphin.
Saw a dolphin right by you?
No, like in that forest. I would love to see a dolphin, like in the water. Like I've seen them on vacation, but like out and thing, because we used to get up really early when we were at the beach. My uncle would wake us up earlier so that we can see it.
Yeah.
It was always pretty cool. Almost every day we would see a dolphin jump. Because like he was like, they always get up earlier in the morning. So we gotta get up earlier in the morning too.
Isn't it late at night as well?
Mm-hmm. Late at night, I was in Florida with my dad, Tampa Bay, I think, and he was okay to like let us stay out late because it was vacation. And one night we just happened to be down at the beach while it was late, and I made like friends, so to say, for the day, well, not the day, it was nighttime, but friends for the night, and we were all hunting hermit crabs because there were like all these little sandbars that popped up after it was like low tide. So many hermit crabs. we had over 20 or 30 hermit crabs in a bucket, like all on top of each other, but we didn't care because it was just like really cool. And then I went on vacation with my Uncle Richie, and my grandma finally said, yeah, fine, you can get a hermit crab. And we kept it at her house. I was just like, yes.
The one that you found.
No, this is a different vacation. And I was just like, can I please get a hermit crab? And she finally said yes. And then my Uncle Richie said yes to his daughter and the brother.
Do you still have it?
No, my grandmother accidentally killed it. She forgot about it while I went on vacation. And she said she was feeding it and everything, and that one day it was just gone. And then I found it in the closet.
It escaped.
We don't know how, because it's a plastic container and there were no sticks in it. So it was just like, it just magically out of the thing. I think my grandmother was doing like the mandatory, like, you're supposed to like spray it with water occasionally. And I think that she thought she put it in the thing, because we didn't know at the time, but she was like slowly getting dementia. And so we think that she just thought she put it in and left it on the thing, and it just crawled away. And I couldn't find it. I came home and I looked in every closet. And one day I was just there. This is after I moved out. One day I was just there. And it was the hermit crab right there in the closet. Just the shell and its dead body.
My friend had a hermit crab when she was younger, and she was trying to play hide and go seek with it in her backyard. She lost the hermit crab. She was like, it was counting and she ran away. Couldn't find it. And it didn't find her.
Hide, like, outside?
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't do that. I was too paranoid. I kept it inside its cage or on top of my bed. Like, that's the only places it was allowed. It didn't have a name. I didn't have enough time. No time. No time for a name. I wonder... No, they probably died. Their other hermit crabs, they don't really live long, I don't think. Like the little ones that you buy, I don't think they live long unless they're like in the ocean constantly being able to do what they do. Yeah.
You see a lot of them out here.
I saw a huge one. I got a con shell or whatever they were, those spiral ones.
Yeah.
I found one of those and I just like picked it up because I thought it was cool. We were kayaking and we were going along the shore and it was shallow enough, so I just picked one up and I put it on my thing and I see claws. I was like, what is that? I picked it up and it was a hermit crab. And then I took it with us all the way to my house. And I was just like, okay.
Yeah. You find a huge shell.
It was like...
There's good size hermit crabs.
It was like as big as this thing. Like, that's how big my shell was. I thought it was really cool. I was like, oh yeah, I can take this home.
Yeah.
No, I can't.
Right? There's a little bit.
When we first got our hermit crabs, like I'm going back to like that vacation with my cousins, we both put our hermit crabs on the thing, and the people at the store didn't know that it was about to like molt and need a new shell.
Yeah, how does that all work?
They just crawl out of their shell and they go into the other one,
Find another one.
and then they go into the other one. Like they give you extra shells.
Huh.
The store does usually, and then we didn't know that. And we dropped it. We dropped it off the bed because we were still at the vacation home. Because my Uncle Richie's doing basically what my dad's going to do this time. Because he always takes extra people. And it fell off the bed and onto the floor. And then we couldn't find it. We found this shell, but it wasn't in the shell. So we had to leave the shell underneath the bed and let it crawl back in. And so we were watching the whole time. And those things are ugly. Out of the shell, they're ugly. Like, they have to go back inwards. Like, they have to go backwards into it so that it spirals into it.
You watched it go?
Yeah.
That's
It was gross, though. Like, they're ugly. They're cute in the shell.
I don't even know what they look like.
You don't want to. Like, they look like scorpions.
Huh.
Like, their tail is weird.
I've seen a scorpion.
I haven't. I've seen